Hi, this is Evan Jones from LawSchoolly.com. Today we're continuing with more logic games explanations. This is the February 1993 Preptest 7 Game 2. This one, thankfully, is much harder than that first one, which was kind of a joke. It was sort of a warm-up, if you could even call it that, pretty basic. This one gets a little more complicated. When I did this, timing myself out, I was like coming in at around 8 minutes. I'm a little out of practice, but I think that's a good mark to shoot for. So not the hardest game ever, but certainly not the easiest either. It's an advanced linear game, so we'll have 2 rows rather than the one that we saw in that last game, where we just had the basic 7 things in a row. Here we're going to have multiple layers, so makes it a little trickier. Okay, let's get to the setup. Dr. Yamada works on only Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So it's important to note that she doesn't work on Thursday. I remember when I first did this game, I was tempted to leave the Thursday out and just have like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. But the issue there is that later you encounter these rules in this game that are about things on consecutive days, and I think if you leave the Thursday out, you'll have problems because visually it looks like Wednesday and Friday are smashed together, and you'll think those are consecutive days when they are in fact not. So I think that's a big mistake to leave the Thursday out. Generally on any linear game, you want an ordered sequence, and then rather than omitting it, just X out those spots. And that reminds you that nothing can go here. Those aren't variables. They're just empty. Might be better to just put slashes so that it doesn't look like an X. Sorry, those are kind of like horror show looking slashes, but that'll remind us that nothing can be in that spot. And then what exactly is she doing in these days? It looks like she performs 4 different activities. We've got lecturing, okay, operating, treating patients, which we'll just do as T, and then conducting research, which we'll do as C. And because that's only 4 variables going into these spots, it says that on each working day she performs exactly 1 activity in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. That means we're going to have to reuse these. So some of these you'll see a bunch of different times, and luckily the rules makes that much more clear what she's doing when. So moving to the rules, we have Dr. Yamato. She performs operations on exactly 3 mornings. So you could put that down here as like on 3 mornings or something like that. I think that's bad here. Better is to put it up someplace where you'll have a powerful visual reminder of where these O's are going. So I put it right up here, like a little arrow or something like that, directing you to put those only in the top row, only in the morning. There might be O's later here, but we just don't know yet. But we do know there are 3 in the morning. If she operates on Monday, this is the next rule, she does not operate on Tuesday. You could do like a conditional like OM, then OT is out. You know, I don't love that. I would probably write it, but then I'd probably want to have something more powerful up here to remind me visually that O is going in one of these 2 spots, you know? Don't get obsessed with how you do it. The reason that this is going on like that is, well, if O is on Monday, it's not on Tuesday. If O is on Tuesday, it can't be Monday, or that's violating the rule. I suppose the third possibility is that there's no O here at all. So for now, we'll write or O is out. Sorry, that's a little messy, but you don't get points for prettiness. And then time to move on. Between these 2, you know, that's definitely enough that you're going to remember that there's a rule about O's on Mondays and Tuesdays. I don't worry about elegance too much because I, in fact, want it to be intrusive and kind of sticking out so that it's a constant reminder about this rule. Okay, third rule, she lectures on the afternoon on exactly 2 consecutive calendar days. So we have an L block. This is that consecutive days rule I was telling you about. Yeah, write it down there is fine, but let's do the same thing where we have it pointing in to this row where it's going to live, you know? Sorry, that's messy again, but the point is just to visually remind ourselves that there's 2 L's in the afternoon. Next rule, she conducts research on exactly, the next rule is that she treats patients on exactly 1 morning and exactly 3 afternoons. So we have 1 T up here, and then down here we've got 3 T's, which is great because now we actually have this row completely full, which is really helpful. Yeah, we don't know where things are yet, but we're going to know pretty quickly how to order them since we're just working with these 5 variables. And then next rule, she conducts research on exactly 1 morning. So our C goes up here, and then now that's full too. You might want to put a little space, like reminding you that these are separate. So our 3 O's, our T and our C are going up top, and our L block and our 3 T's are going down below. That's totally settled now. And then, believe it or not, there's one more rule. On Saturday, she neither lectures nor performs operations. So lecturing's out. Do our not laws here. And operations are out. That's, an important rule because if you look at the L, and I think this is an inference that you should make here, L can't go on Friday either because of the consecutive rule day. If it was on Friday and you tried to do this and this, that's illegal because Thursday's in between. So that means L's gone here, and that L block is going to have to be somewhere up in our first 3 spots. You could even do like a new reminder that L's headed in there, that's a little ugly, but it's up to you whether you want to do that to help remember it. Okay, so that's our rules. Let's move on to the actual questions. Question 8 is not an acceptability question. With these older games, sometimes you saw this a lot. You don't get the acceptability question, you just go right to the local rules. Well, this is actually a global rule here. Which one of the following must be a day on which Dr. lectures? So if Dr. Yamada is lecturing in the afternoon only, right? And we already know it can't be up here. That leaves the L block in these first 2, as we discussed. And this is a common theme with blocks. Wherever you put this block, LL or LL, it's stuck on Tuesday. So I would just, leave that there. It's an inference that we missed, but now we see it, and we know that L has to be on Tuesday. That's the answer B. Yamada lectures on Tuesday. And what's more important to that rule, that I'm catching now is, since these lectures are up front, we only have T's remaining, you might as well at this point just write in your T's in the back. And then now it's either going to be T or L here and T or L here. It's pretty limiting for what can be on the bottom. If you don't hit that inference now, I think you'll probably figure it out later. It's not essential, but hopefully we can save some time with that. Okay, on Wednesday, this is question 9. On Wednesday, Dr. Yamada could be scheduled to A, conduct research in the morning and operate in the afternoon. Definitely not, because, we never can operate in the afternoon. It's only up there. And this question, you'll quickly realize, is just testing whether you've done this work properly. So it's an easy point once you've gotten your setup done correctly. Answer choice B, lecture in the morning and treat patients in the afternoon. Lecture in the morning. No, you can never lecture in the morning. So again, that's out. Cross off B. Operate in the morning and lecture in the afternoon. Operate morning and lecture in the afternoon. Here, I think I'd just say intuitively, it looks like there's nothing wrong with that. So why don't you go ahead and fill in the chart, you know. Have an O here, you know, you could have C or T here. And have an O on one of these per that rule, and then a C and a T. That's fine. So that's an acceptable one. This is a could be true question. This could be your schedule. O and L here. So C is our correct answer. Okay, moving on to question 10. Which one of the following statements must be true? So it's another global question. I'm looking at these and I'm like, don't think there's any way to do this except just brute forcing it. So just start hitting the questions and hopefully our extensive diagram will help us quickly do the problems out. One thing I will say is I'm doing this work in the main diagram. Normally by this point you probably want to leave this main diagram untouched and be working off somewhere else in like a little mini diagram to be trying out your various combinations. But I think erasing generally wastes time on the LSAT, so something to keep in mind here that I'm maybe not doing it in the most orthodox fashion. But let's look at question A. There is one day on which the doctor treats patients both in the morning and the afternoon. Does that need to be the case? I mean, the best thing to do is just try to make it not be the case. LLT, let's put T here. O, 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 C. No, not the case. So that's not something that must be true. Get good at doing these quick calculations and you'll be able to brute force questions quickly and effectively. Don't get worried that you're doing a lot of work, because often this is the best strategy. Just get down to brass tacks and start slapping these questions down. Okay, so B, the doctor conducts research on one of the days in which he lectures. At this point, I'm like, why would that be necessary? I mean, C can move around really pretty freely up here. So intuitively, at this point, I think the smart thing to do is just skip that, and you can always come back to it if you don't find a likelier answer, and that's a good way to save time. So I'm forgetting about C for now, or forgetting about B for now. I'm looking at C. The doctor conducts research on one of the days on which he treats patients. Conducts research, treats patients. I mean, again, why not just have the C here, with the L? So then now it's not a must be true thing where the C and T are together. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm skipping that answer and looking for a more likely candidate. D, the doctor lectures on one of the days in which he treats patients. That's not possible because, oh no, sorry, it is. It is possible, but is it a must be true? This one's worth testing out to me. I'd put like T here, O, O, C, oh sorry, and we'll make that an O and make this a C so we don't violate that rule. And then we've got the T down here, and no, we didn't, T and L are not forced to overlap, so that one's out. Hopefully E is a better answer choice here. The doctor lectures on one of the days on which he operates. That's E. This looks like the best one as far as I'm concerned because there's a lot of O's up top, so it seems likely to me that they have to overlap with one of these L's down here. We have this rule, which means, you can't have two O's in here, but you also can't have two O's back here, so it's a little hard for them to avoid the L. And I guess that's something that I'm now just seeing. You can't have an O here, right? And you can't have three O's up front. So you do have to always have an O here. That's a permanent condition of this game. So just add that into your main diagram. And then do we have to have overlap with the L's and the O's? Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to avoid it because you need at least two O's up here. So regardless of whether you do this or this, you're going to have an O and an L overlap. So kind of the genius level strategy might have been to see that right away, that this was a likely one, E, but if you don't get to it, no big deal. And now make sure to keep that inference that we made about O has to be here now. Okay, number 11, question 11. If Dr. Yamada operates on Tuesday, then her schedule for treating patients could be, okay, so operates on Tuesday, we know it's going up here in the morning, so it's not on Monday. That means that she's definitely also operating here, right? Following that rule and that rule. And then we don't know where the T and the C are, so we could just fill those out as split options. Okay, and then now let's look at what her schedule could be given this. This is a little complicated to read here, but bear with me. Her schedule for treating patients could be Monday morning, that's okay. Monday afternoon, that's okay, right? Added in there. Friday morning, nope, that violates a rule, so A's out. Just go through these and compare with your little semi-diagram that you have filled out here. Answer choice B, Monday morning, and I'm looking ahead here and I see that they've got treating patients on 2 mornings. That doesn't work, okay? Remember, these just represent T or C, not that there's 2 C's up here. So just watch out for ones that you can get rid of easily because they violate global rules of the game. We can't have 2 T's in the morning. Okay, C, Monday afternoon. Let's see, Monday afternoon, Wednesday morning, nope, that's out. So cross off C, we need to have O in there. Okay, answer choice D, Wednesday morning, nope, that's gone again because we have to have O in there. Okay, and then that leaves us E is the correct choice by elimination. But let's just double check it, I guess. Wednesday afternoon, treat patients, sure, why not? We'd have the L here. And then Friday afternoon, treat patients. Saturday morning, sure, you could have that be T and C over there. And then Saturday afternoon, treat patients. Yep, so E is our correct answer for 11. Tough question, you just have to brute force it with this good mini diagram in place. Okay, question 12, the last one. Which of the following is a pair of days on which Dr. Yamada must treat patients? I mean, we've already made this inference. If you hadn't made it by now, you probably wouldn't be at too big of a handicap. But because L and L are up front here, the only remaining days that you can treat patients are, in the afternoon or down here, Friday and Saturday. This is always a requirement of the game. So this must be a day in which they treat patients, Friday and Saturday. All right, so that's kind of an easy global question to wrap up a very difficult game where you had to do a lot of quick calculating work. And the faster you get at just doing your diagrams, filling them out, and the more often you do it, the better off you'll be. So keep that in mind as you're practicing in the coming months. Okay, well, thanks a lot for sticking with us, and we'll be doing this again very soon. Thanks, bye.